This is how one US Border Patrol officer received Haitian migrants crossing the Rio Grande, coming back with food to a camp they've set up in Texas.
Hey, you use your women? This is why your country because you use your women for this. You go, that way. Hey, no. No.
We've got our families inside, dying of hunger. We've had to go out to buy food.
No!
You can see the tense scenes here. The Border Patrol are trying to stop people getting back into the camp after they went across to Mexico to get food, they say, because there isn't enough food for them actually there in the camp. There's more than 12,000 migrants, mostly Haitians, in the camp that sprung up in Del Rio, Texas, over the last 2 weeks. They want asylum, but US authorities are overwhelmed. This is just the latest flashpoint in a months-long surge of people illegally crossing the border, and there's little in the camp for them.
Sanitary products? There aren't any. Food? There isn't any either. They don't give you anything.
We met Nicholas on the Mexican bank of the river, searching for food and medicine for his family. He hadn't realized until we asked him about it that US authorities are also now flying Haitians back home. There's planes now going deporting people. What do you think about that?
What kills me about that is that everyone knows what we Haitians are going through. There's no president. Crime is high. Students can't go to school. There's no work. The economy is down. People can't put up with that. Deportation is not good for us.
Like many others, he said he'd suffered to get this far, on a journey through South America, past gangs and through a patch of jungle called the Darien Gap, notorious for rape and robbery. It was really difficult. I saw a lot of us who died, he told me. Now he's touched ground in his promised land, the US, but it looks unlikely he'll be able to stay there. In the rush for food, we didn't see him make it back across the river into Texas. And by the afternoon, Mexican security forces were patrolling the river too. It was getting even tougher. Mexican authorities have opened the dam further upstream, which they do quite regularly, but all it means is that these people are now struggling even more to get across. The water's a lot deeper here. It's just another obstacle and another danger for them as they try and get into the United States. We're on the Mexican side right now of the Rio Grande. That's the river that separates this country from the United States. And we're here because more than 10,000 people, most of them Haitian, have crossed this river to get to the United States and establish a sort of makeshift camp, wanting to be given asylum and to be able to stay in the United States. Many of them traveled through South and Central America to get to this point. They're fleeing poverty and years of political turmoil and natural disasters back home.
I'm really scared. You know why? Haiti had an earthquake. We were left with nothing. No home, no food, nothing. Almost all my family died. And if we don't go across, where are we going to go? We don't have a home. That's why we're searching for a better future.
The flow of Haitians crossing to the United States at this point suddenly turned into a torrent over the last week or two. But now it's slowed again. People have heard the plans from the US government to fly many in the camp back home.
We're scared that if we cross, they'll just deport us back to Haiti and it will be worse for us.
Those we did see crossing the river were mainly bringing food and water to those on the other side. I asked this man how people were doing on the other side.
They're okay, but sad, because maybe tomorrow they'll be deported.
Conditions in the camp are reportedly tough, with not enough food, toilets or water, but we couldn't verify that. Earlier in the day, we tried to enter the camp via the front door in Texas. We just tried to get into the camp via the US entry, and we were denied there. We now just crossed the river and tried to get in through this entry port, and we've just been denied by the border patrolmen that you can see behind me, who say that we're not allowed in. Other journalists said the same. The US authorities are blocking the media from talking to those inside. Meanwhile, they're faced with a problem that would test any administration. A makeshift shantytown suddenly springing up on their border with thousands desperate to stay. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Acuña, Mexico.